I will be doing part one of the Lycanon story. Jupiter's telling the story about Lycanon and how he punished him. He's heard about the king's story and he wants to check it out for himself, so he goes down from Mount Olympus in human form. He arrives at the kingdom and says to everyone that he's a god, but the king doesn't believe it. So the king comes up with a two-part plan to kill him in his sleep and feed him a cooked young man. Serving it to the god Jupiter instantly, while serving it to the god Jupiter, it is instantly realized what it was, and Jupiter starts just destroying the house and the household gods. Lycanon runs away, but shortly after starts turning into a wolf. Still angry, Jupiter decides that not only one will be punished, but multiple homes deserve the punishment, meaning that everyone involved was punished. The message of the story was valuable to their civilization to such an extent that it was preserved for the future. This shows the thought of you. This shows the thought of you may think something you know. You might think you know something, but the gods know all, and you shouldn't test them. According to Tier 1, Lycanon says to himself, "He is not a god. I will prove it." Reassuring and reemphasizing their religious beliefs during these times where their beliefs were questioned was highly frowned upon, and Jupiter punished the king for this. It is also significant that if you enable an act, you're just as guilty as the person committing it. According to Tier 1, punish one house, but multiple homes deserve punishment. All will be punished. This shows the importance to do the right thing, and everyone has a responsibility to keep social order, that you need to take a stand against actions that threatens this order. Cannibalism was widely seen as egregious in Greek culture, even with its popularity. According to Tier 1, also, Lycanon killed and cooked the young man. The meal consisting of a dead young man serves it to the god. He was super mad. He destroyed the house and the household gods with flames. Cannibalism was still practiced back then, in Arcadia especially, and that most found it important to take a moral stand against it. Just as the Lycanon story mentioned powerful and enduring messages of respecting others, there are many other stories today that were preserved for future generations because of their lasting impact. This was shown through John Boyne's novel, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, which condemns inequality, specifically in the Holocaust. In The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, a young boy named Bruno, the son of a Nazi general, moves from his home in Berlin to a house right outside of the Auschwitz concentration camp. He wanders off one day and stumbles upon the divided fence that divides freedom from slavery. He meets a boy just about his age named Shmuel, who was a prisoner. He befriends Shmuel and spends a large amount of his time talking to him at the fence. At the end of the book, Shmuel's father has gone missing, and Bruno says he'll help find him. Bruno, who is small enough to fit under the fence, takes the prisoner uniform offered by Shmuel, and they set out to find his father. Unfortunately, they get sent to the gas chambers and are killed. The current value held is that was held in this book is that it is important not to judge people by their religious beliefs or any type of differences for that matter. It is an important reminder for people to have empathy and respect for people with differences. In our world today, we still have groups of people that feel targeted for their ethnic or religious backgrounds. For example, the Black Lives Matter group and the Uyghur Muslims. It is also a reminder that you shouldn't treat someone because of other people's bias, and you should do the right thing if something's wrong. You should listen to your conscience because society's views on what is right are not always right. Racism and hate is taught, and people can also be taught not to be racist and not to hate. This book holds the effort not to repeat the past and for all cultures to view each other as equal going forward in the future.